When I saw this video pop up in my subscription feed because, as a guy who covers hockey, I'm kind of subscribed to a lot of other people who cover hockey too, and Sportsnet is definitely included in that. So I saw the Tim and Sid clip pop up in my subscriptions, talking with Brad Treliving about the former Canucks that are going over to Calgary. They only really talk about Markstrom, Tanev, and Leivo. There's still that Louis Domingue, who is a minor signing, but hey, he counts. The Calgary Canucks are real, I'm telling you. And I watched the whole interview because, hey, I was eating dinner, got in some nice chicken wings. It's got a nice marination of sake and a few other very nice Asian spices. So that was awesome to chow down on while I was listening to this Tim and Sid clip. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what exactly Brad Treliving said, and I'll leave a link in the description to the entire clip because it is on YouTube. Obviously, you can watch it yourself. But Brad Treliving and the Flames, man, really testing my patience. Testing my patience indeed. I've said this over, I think it was every single video. We made videos literally talking about like 5 different Calgary Flames related things because they all related to the topic of them taking Vancouver Canucks players. But essentially, in this interview, what they go over, first off, they go over the overall status quo of the league, talk about the uncertainties and all that stuff, how it goes when you get an NHL GM. You have to ask him how the NHL is actually doing stuff. But then once they get into the Canucks players, that's when things kinda beats at my heart a little bit, because Tim and Sid, they're asking their questions. All of a sudden, Sid just straight up asks, hey, so you guys got Josh Leivo, right? What are you doing? Is that just trying to troll Vancouver there? Is that what your goal is here, Brad Treliving, to just troll the living heck out of Vancouver Canucks fans? And Treliving kind of laughs and he says, you know what, I feel kind of bad. Oh man, Brad Treliving has said he feels bad about taking all the Vancouver Canucks players. Okay. He then said that he actually hasn't called Jim Benning lately, and that he considers Jim Benning a good friend of his, and that he doesn't know if Jim Benning considers him a good friend anymore because he took all of Benning's players. But eventually, they do talk about what exactly the signings do mean. Leivo, Markstrom, Tanev, how these guys are good players. Treliving talks about how he was really impressed by what exactly the Canucks did to acquire Josh Leivo from the Toronto Maple Leafs all those years ago. If you remember that trade, if I try to get this off the top of my head, I believe there was just like Michael Carcone and like a pick or something like that. Oh no, I just reviewed it. It's not even a pick, it's just Leivo for Carcone. Yeah, so that was a trade that a lot of Leafs fans were like, you know what, we lost out in terms of value, but at the end of the day, Josh Leivo is a guy who needs a spot in the NHL. He is good enough to play. He just wasn't able to get that in Toronto because, hey, Toronto has so many good forwards already. What are you going to do? So the fact is, the Canucks acquired Leivo a year ago. He was great here. He was injured next year, but he was still great when he played, and now he is going over to Calgary. And I just wanted to use this video to talk a little bit to the Flames fans in a little bit of a serious manner as to what exactly I think you guys are getting in all these Calgary Canucks here. Because Treliving said it best, even though they all happen to be Vancouver Canucks of the past, they are still pretty good players, and they were some of the Vancouver Canucks' top priorities, or at least 2 of them were, and then the other ones weren't really. But when it comes to the overall status quo of how these guys were signed, again, I said it a few times before, I'll say it again, the Vancouver Canucks were good in not chasing Markstrom or Leivo, especially if the price in the market was that which Calgary was able to give up. We spoke about this previously too, but the Edmonton Oilers were willing to give Markstrom 7 years, but he said, nah, I don't want to play in Edmonton. What are you, nuts? And then he signed in Calgary instead. I mean, that's probably not verbatim what exactly happened, but we did see reports coming out of leaked media sources saying that Markstrom personally did not want to go to Edmonton, which is why he accepted that 6x6 with Calgary instead. What you're getting here, Flames fans, is literally the best goaltender you've had since Kiprusoff. And I don't exaggerate when I say that. You have never signed a guy long-term since Kiprusoff, pretty much, and Markstrom is a guy who can definitely hold the fort. He is in his prime right now. If you want a goalie who can win you games today, he is going to do that. Again, just like some of the other 6x6 contracts that have been signed, Louis Eriksson, Tyler Myers, a lot of these do come to mind when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks and their overall property. You can make a real good debate that by the time that Markstrom is 35, 36 years old, that contract is going to look ugly. But at the end of the day, if you guys want to win now, which is what Brad Treliving wants to do, because he's hinted at that, this is a team that has not been able to get over that hump, get past the first round more than once. hey, Markstrom's going to help you do that. And in front of him, if he has a decor of Chris Tanev helping him out blocking shots, then that can be great too. Tanev is a very good locker room guy. There's a reason why the youngins on the Canucks, Besser, Pettersson, Hughes, they all called this guy Dad. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the video, especially if you're a Canucks fan, but this guy was so good to our young guys, man. Chris Tanev was very good in terms of helping these guys assimilate into Vancouver culture and the Canucks organization as a whole. That leadership is definitely going to be missed here in Vancouver. And obviously, you know, he's a warrior. He's an underrated two-way shutdown guy who really knows how to get the puck out of his own zone with ease. He doesn't really score too many points. That's never really been his forte. But when it comes to breaking up transitions, he always knows what to do, where to be, and when it comes time to block a shot, he's never afraid to do that. It's why he's lost so many teeth over the years. But for Calgary Flames fans, again, just like the Markstrom contract, this contract could be in a position where in a few years it may not be all too desirable. Because I will say the way that Chris Tanev plays the game is so fragile. I guess. There's a reason why this guy is always out. He's always blocking shots. He's always doing stuff that puts his body on the line, and that's admirable. I appreciate that so much. But at the end of the day, once in a while, it can come back to bite him and hurt him. So we'll see how exactly Chris Tanev is able to do. If it were up to me, I want this guy to play every single game in the rest of his career. But as a Canucks fan watching this guy for just under a decade, I would not be confident in saying that I believe he will. Obviously, you know, I wish the best for Tanev and Markstrom, of course. But you know, you guys still have yourselves a few other really nice defensemen who are doing their things as well. The big name coming to mind is Juuso Välimäki. Obviously, we're taking a little bit of a tangent here, but Juuso Välimäki is doing some incredible things with the Ilves Hockey Club in the Finnish Liga. 10 points, 10 games played for this 22-year-old Calgary Flames first-round pick. He didn't play anything last season. He was out the entire year. But, my gosh, it's been worth the wait for sure. So, you guys got yourselves some pretty nice upgrades. I don't want to say that Chris Tanev is better or worse than TJ Brodie, because I think when it comes to points, TJ Brodie's probably better there. But Chris Tanev brings a different element, and that's a very nice addition to your squad. And if you want that scoring touch, hey, maybe Välimäki's the guy to help you out in that department. And then you have Louis Domingue, who is going to be, statistically speaking, he was kind of whack with Vancouver, I won't lie. He wasn't really the best when it came to the numbers, but there's a reason why he wasn't really discussed on the Tim and Sid clip. And then for Josh Leivo, yeah, we've spoken about this a few times before. He's a potential 15-goal scorer, in my opinion, if you give him the opportunity, if his knee is all healed up, if he doesn't get injured, and if he gets a proper spot on the power play, I guess. He's got a shot. He's got a really good shot. Like, he knows how to grip it and rip it, pick corners, and even in the shootout, the guy knows how to bust a move or two. I've very much been a fan of Josh Leivo during the time that he was here, and I can understand why exactly it was that Toronto Maple Leafs fans were so happy to see him leave Toronto and actually get an opportunity to shine in Vancouver, because hey, watching this guy as a former number 2 Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I know it's kind of weird to say that, but yeah, it was interesting to see the development of Josh Leivo, because he definitely was a guy who did have talent. It's just that he was outworked, outpaced, and outscored by Nylander and all the other guys that were ahead of him in the depth chart at the time. So, obviously, seeing Josh Leivo now with another team, especially the Calgary Flames, it hurts. And I guess Sid was right when it came to asking Brad Treliving, hey, were you just trolling Benning by adding this guy? But at the end of the day, you know, he straight up just wanted to go to a place where he was given a better opportunity, and we said that in the previous video. It's a similar situation to the Toronto Maple Leafs of a few years ago when Leivo went from Toronto to Vancouver, because now it's Vancouver that's the team that's tough to crack. They're a team that has a top 6 of what is projected to being JT Miller, Pettersson, Besser, Horvat, Pearson, and I guess Jake Virtanen. And after that, the scoring really does drop off. You're not really going to expect so much production out of Roussel and Beagle and Sutter and all those guys, so having Leivo play on a third line with a Sam Bennett, I guess, and a Milan Lucic or a Dylan Dubé or any of these guys who can produce, maybe even a Dominic Simone, who you guys also got as well. I think there's a lot more potential to actually get some offense done with those guys than the bottom 6 core of the Vancouver Canucks. And that's assuming you guys don't want to play them in your top 6, which I don't know if it's all too likely, but hey, weirder things have happened, right? So, yeah, I didn't really think I could spend 10 minutes talking about the Flames again, but hey, we just did that. Talk to me in the comments what you think about the brand new opportunities for Markstrom, Tanev, Leivo, and Louis Domingue, the new Calgary Canucks. Tell me what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's Trolls99. Link in the description as well to the Tim and Sid clip. And bye.